And today we are talking about those beautiful, bittersweet emotions. This is something that I speak from personal experience. If I were to be labeled, or I would say I'm definitely an emotional person. First, let me just disclaimer, as we all know, everyone has emotions. Everyone has emotions. Women versus men. We're not getting into that. The truth is we all have emotions. How do we use them? And my goal with this video is to share with you just some insight and hopefully some tips and educational pointers around life, personal, and that you may find that you can apply to your own life to help you use your emotions as cues to grow and not as, I would say, a space to hide or not take accountability for what we actually do believe or value. And that's what I want to start with, is when throughout my entire life, most of my life, I have been driven by my emotions. Again, I am an emotional being. And let me tell you also something about us. Emotions are great. If you're more emotional than someone who may be more rational or use their intellect more, the beautiful balance to me is bringing them together. As that's my goal each day, to work on that part of me, to bring my intellect into this, to know that I actually do have beliefs. Typically people that are emotional, and I'm talking about sensitive people who have a great passion and have a need to maybe react to certain situations or respond, like understanding what that need comes from. I believe that's a deeper journey of personal development, going into your childhood and experiences with family members or places maybe you weren't felt, seen or heard, or, but what I have learned again is to drive my emotions and not to be driven by my emotions. And what I mean by that is, when my emotions are driving me, that means that I feel something and I immediately react to it or I respond. That is typically me, and I'm not talking about only in bad situations. It can be good, but every even good thing doesn't need to be reacted or responded to. And I'm not talking about complimenting someone, saying thank you, using your manners, but I just mean in general in life. Example, there could be a situation that, you're invited to a party or you're invited to an event, and before you even check your calendar or check with people that are involved, you're automatically saying yes. That's emotion, happy that someone's invited you, excited about it. And I'm guilty, but that's being driven by my emotion versus stopping, taking a look at my calendar. Do I even want to go? Do we even ask those questions? That's bringing intellect to an example of emotion, being driven by it. So being driven by emotion, I look at it as a racetrack. We're going round and round and round, not going anywhere, ending up back to the same space, because when this opportunity it presents itself again, we're back to nowhere, round and round. It's a loop. But when I am in charge and when I am driving my emotions, I'm in that driver's seat, and it's a journey. Those 5 minutes of sitting and thinking and actually taking the time of thinking about what I want, what are my thoughts, what are my beliefs, what are my values, why do I feel this way? Those 5 minutes can feel like 5 hours, but they really can save 5 years of your life. You know what I mean? Like really thinking about this thing. And so emotions, again, they are cues for us to let us know how we feel. They are a guide. I feel like they guide me to my own thoughts and beliefs. Why do I feel this way? Because I will say this, and this is one of my favorite mentors. He always says, it's like, we are not the victim of our emotions. We are the creator of them. And our emotions, they're real to us, but they're not real to other people. And most of the time in situations when we're using them against someone in a negative way. Because I'm not talking about being happy or being joyous. Nobody's going to talk about that. Why? Because be happy, be joyous, but using those emotions to be defensive or to react or respond in situations where we like, I shouldn't have done that, or I shouldn't have said that, or I should have waited to respond because I really don't want to do that. That's the emotional part. And again, our emotions are a gift to us. If you're a sensitive person, you can feel other people. You often show empathy. Those are all great spaces. But again, I'm talking to those spaces, which this is what this channel does. We dig and go into those, I call them those corners of our soul where it's dusty, where we need to sweep and clean up, and really go into those spaces to clean up some of those areas that's not being looked at. You know what I mean? So emotions, again, they're cues, they're guides. I want to share something also, like an example. I don't know if I was in my late 20s, but I was working in retail. My background, for those of you who don't know, I'm a teacher. Here's my new classroom, but I was an educator in the public school system for many years, and many years I had part-time jobs, and I was working at a retail store, and I never forget, she called a meeting. There was myself and 2 other Black girls, and she was an older white lady, and we had no issues with her. I mean, nothing, no issues. But this particular day, when she called the meeting, she said, "Hi, we've been having an issue with theft. There's been a Black man coming in here stealing. We know who it is. He's coming, but we want you guys to follow every Black man that comes in the door." She said it just like that. "Every Black man that comes in the door, we need you to follow him around." And I heard her say, I mean, she said it just like that. And we looked, and I'm looking, I'm like, And I had a lot of thoughts went through my head, but I remember I just looked and I said, I won't be doing that. I cannot do that. And that's an example of using your emotions, because I had a feeling, it was a cue. I could have responded in different ways, but that's a healthy way to respond. And I'm grateful that I am that type of person. I don't mind voicing. I don't mind sharing. I definitely don't mind expressing how I feel, just learning to do it in a very healthy way. And in that environment, in professional environments, I'm typically pretty good. It really has been my personal relationships, or in spaces where I feel defensive, or when I feel like I need to be heard. And understanding why do I need to be heard is the root of it all. But the truth is, again, even in that moment saying, I don't feel heard right now, and this is why. Or I am feeling heard, but this is my belief, or this is my thought on whatever the situation is. But in that particular situation and environment, I spoke up. And I've done that many times throughout my life. In my career as a teacher, in situations like that, and I never forget, I quit. I definitely quit. I wrote a letter to corporate, and, she and I actually had a really good conversation. She shared her background and why she may have had some biases, or really, let's just say, racism, and she was honest about it, and we hugged and we moved on. But the bottom line is, I spoke up in that moment. And so again, your emotions are real, but just make sure that they're real, healthy, healthy in environments where you have a specific outcome. And that outcome, I just want to let her know that, don't come to work expecting me to do something, because you may end up having to fire me, because I'm not going to do that. And, using your words, not using curse words, or using an attitude to express ourselves. That's something, again, working on those areas of our life that we know are real, being a model of the behavior that we truly want to have ultimately, without having to continue to correct. So this thing is personal. It's a journey. And I just want to root you on. So if you're a person that you are driven by your emotions, remember, we can get in that driver's seat, and we have those opportunities every day. Should I respond? Should I react? And why do I feel this way? Why? Because truly, this journey is personal. It is not about the people in your life. The people in your life, I promise you, they're there for a reason. And I'm talking about supportive people, because we're here. We're not talking about people trying to pull you down. We're talking about you are in a healthy environment. You are choosing wellness for your life. The people in your life, they will help you grow. But the most important person in your life that's leading this thing is going to be you. So let's stay true to the journey, and let's drive those emotions and not be driven by them. Have a beautiful day. Enjoy your day. If you're new to my channel, my name is Janville, and I Am is a platform for young ladies, young people, anyone, if you're here on YouTube, but we dedicated to personal development and growing ourselves. Here I provide educational, inspirational content around life.